What's up, guys? I'm DK Wrestler, and today I'm going to be doing a top 10 list of my favorite Funko Pops announced during the month of May 2025. Or as I like to call it, International DK Wrestler Month, since this month, or specifically a couple days ago already, was my birthday. But let me tell you, this definitely has been the most difficult month of Funko Pop announcements because there's been a lot of fire, and there should be quite a bit more fire when it comes to June, considering San Diego Comic-Con is right around the corner. But if you end up enjoying this type of content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. But nonetheless, let's kick off this top 10 list. Kicking off with number 10, of course, that's going to be the GameStop exclusive glow-in-the-dark Mace Windu from Star Wars. Now, I definitely thought I should add this pop onto the list, considering this is a part of the Revenge of the Sith 20th anniversary lineup, a movie that I thoroughly enjoyed not only as a kid, but even today. And I really like the fact that they made this pop glow-in-the-dark because of the Force lightning that, of course, Mace Windu is struck with during the movie. And I cannot wait for more Revenge of the Sith pops to be released during the year, but I know that there's definitely going to be better, which is why at least it's at the bottom of the list, but just made it onto it. Coming in at number 9 on my list is Magenta from Blue's Clues, a pop that just made it onto the list since it just got announced this week. And it is really awesome to finally see a pop of Magenta after already seeing the two versions of Blue and Steve with the handy dandy notebook. People have been wanting Magenta for a while, and now we have her here, and this is absolutely awesome. I mean, technically you would just take the molding of Blue and just do the colors of Magenta, but it's awesome that we finally have it, because technically, even though there is the really awesome, I think it's a pop premium of Blue with the thinking chair, if you already have one of the other Blues, you technically don't need that to go along with this Magenta. Coming in at number 8 on my list is the glow-in-the-dark Orcus from the Dungeons & Dragons Series 2 NFT set. Now, I knew that I had to pick one of these NFT pops because this set is pretty fire with the amount of detail that's put into all 6 of the redeemables. But I felt that the most detail came out of the glow-in-the-dark Orcus with the way that the eyes, the head sculpt, and the body looks also. And even though this does come with a D20 dice, the reason it's kind of low on the list is because there's not really going to be a chance that this ends up adding to my collection. Coming in at number 7 on my list is the Funko Shop exclusive Dr. Manhattan from Watchmen. Now, although Funko has been pumping up really old licenses from the early to mid 2010s as of late, I actually never thought that Funko would revisit Watchmen, especially with the TV series happening where they could have released a new set then. But getting a new version of Dr. Manhattan is really awesome, especially if you can't afford the OG Dr. Manhattan that's definitely somewhere in the 3, maybe even 4 digits at this point. Now, even though I do enjoy this pop thoroughly, I feel that the reason it's not so high up on the list is because if, let's say, it was Rorschach, who is my favorite character in Watchmen, getting a remake, that probably would have sent this pop probably in the top 5 portion of the list. Coming in at number 6 on my list is the Amazon exclusive Pop Plus of Billy the Puppet from Saw. Now, I knew I had to add one of the horror related pops since there were quite a bit of horror related pops announced this month, and I felt, considering that of course Saw is another licensor we haven't had pops for like 10 years or so, that one of the Billies definitely deserved to be on the list. And I really like the approach they went with when it comes to the Billy the Puppet Pop Plus, considering, like I'm mentioning, it is a Pop Plus. Normally for these kinds of pops, it would be a Pop Rides, just like they done with the Elmo on Tricycle for Sesame Street. Not only is it a ride, but it will fit in the normal Funko Pop box, and you're not paying as much as you would if it was considered as a Pop Ride. Coming in at number 5 on my list is the Target exclusive Shrek Bathing from Shrek. Now, this is an absolute hilarious pop, and once again, I believe this falls under the Pop Premium section, so I think it's once again that same case as I talked about with the Billy Pop Plus, where even though this could be, let's say, a Moments or a Deluxe, being a premium, you're only gonna have to pay a little bit extra instead of an astronomical number because of box space. And I love the detail involved with the facial expression, the mud that's on him, and he's got the scrubber in his hand along with the base that's involved. Great job, and definitely one of my favorite Shrek pops of this new set that's been releasing the last year or so. Coming in at number 4 on my list is Boots from Dora the Explorer. Once again, a pop that just made it onto the list because it got announced this week. And in case you're wondering about why there isn't an episode of This Week in Collectible News, it's just because of the timing of where whenever I do these top 10 lists, it would always be on the last day of the month, and the last day of the month is on a Saturday, so I chose doing the top 10 list instead of having an episode of This Week in Collectible News, which that series will be returning next week. But I digress. The detail on Boots is absolutely awesome. Of course, he's got the mouth, his arms are out, and of course, he's gotta wear those shiny red boots. And I like the fact that they didn't make Boots as a pop and buddy with Dora, and that it's its own separate pop. But the reason that this didn't make it into the top 3 portion is because the next 3 pops are pops that I'm guaranteed to add to my collection at some point. And not only that, there's a bit of a gripe that I will mention within one of those 3 pops to why it didn't get any higher also. Coming in at number 3 on my list is the Specialty Series exclusive Sid from Toy Story. We all had been anticipating about the Sid since the leaks had come out, and a lot of people were upset on the fact that it's very similar to the Freddy Funko as Sid for the NFT set, which I'm not surprised. I kind of was expecting it to be that way because yes, it is the same exact mold. For the most part, the only difference is that the Buzz Lightyear in this Sid's hand actually has the rocket attached to the back, unlike the Freddy Funko with Sid, which I think is the reason why, even though this could be number 2 because I'm really excited about this, that's why it's number 3, because it's a pop that I've technically already seen before, unlike the next 2 that are on the list. Coming in at number 2 on my list is Al in the chicken suit, also from the Toy Story lineup. This is something that we weren't sure what was going on with this pop because this could have been normal human Al, it could have been chicken suit Al, perhaps maybe they would have taken a normal Al and make the chicken suit as a chase, but they just did one singular pop of Al and it's in the chicken suit, to where now we don't actually need, for the most part, a regular Al not in the chicken suit, considering a lot of us, including myself, would rather have the chicken suit anyways. But the reason that this isn't number 1 is something that I had kind of teased when talking about Boots, is the fact that I wish this pop was flocked. I think it would have been amazing if they added the flocked specification onto the chicken suit, and I think this would have been over the top and probably at number 1. And like usual, before we make it to number 1, we gotta show off the honorable mentions, but I might as well show off this special message first. Today I wanted to give a shout out to Sentinel 107, and the reason I'm giving them a shout out is because they signed up for our YouTube channel membership, which only cost $1.99 a month, which not only do you get a shout out on every single video, but you also get a bunch of other perks like using custom emojis in the comments, and more importantly, early access to every videos and shorts that we do on this channel. So definitely consider joining our YouTube channel membership. It'll be greatly appreciated and will help out this channel tremendously, especially because of how expensive these videos can be to do for you guys. So definitely consider, but nonetheless, let's continue on with this video. All right, so kicking off the first honorable mentions, it's going to be the rest of the Dora the Explorer Funko Pops. I either wanted to add both Dora and Swiper or one of the 2 additionally onto this list with Boots. But it's not too often when it comes to these lists that I add more than 1 or 2 pops when it comes to the same licensor, so it was best that I would only keep Boots that I really like and then keep the other 2 off of the list, and especially trying to choose which one am I adding onto the list. It probably would have been Swiper, but once again, I would have loved the fact that this pop would have been flocked. The second honorable mention on my list is the D&D Funko NFT set. Once again, I alluded to the fact that not too often do I add more than 1 of the same licensor, and if there's anyone in here that I would have added, it probably would have been the Mimic, because of the fact that we actually have a pop of the character this time around instead of Funko's take of the Funko Pop box Mimic. But nonetheless, all these are really detailed, but also the fact that I don't collect D&D pops. And the last honorable mention on my list is the rest of the Toy Story 30th anniversary set. And these pops are okay, but like if I was really picky and choosy. The ones that I mentioned already, I'd be getting first, while the rest would be saved for later. Like the Moments is okay, but I thought it would have been better. I technically already have a Woody and a Bullseye separately, so I don't really need the rides right away. And then I do like the Alien and how they approached it, but yet again, we've had so many different Alien pops. And if we were gonna get different variants of other characters, I would have loved to see, let's say, Ham as evil Dr. Porkchop. I didn't really talk about another pop, which alludes to my number one pick on this list, and of course, it's gotta be Andy from the Toy Story set. Did you really think I was not gonna include Andy onto this list? This thing is awesome with the red cowboy hat. He's wearing the Triple R Ranch t-shirt, and of course, he's holding a Woody and Buzz Lightyear in his hands. And one thing I do enjoy about this pop also is the posing where he's doing crisscross applesauce sitting down instead of standing up. I think that's a really nice attention to detail as he's sitting down and playing with his toys.